This lesson is on mole calculations. Those are the types of problems you do in chemistry where you multiply or divide by molar mass. In order to do this lesson, you're going to need a periodic table because you're going to get the masses of each element off that periodic table. You're also going to need a calculator. Now remember, in chemistry, we count by measuring mass because atoms are too small to see. So we measure on the balance in the lab, and we can use mole calculations to determine exactly how many atoms we're working with. Now, what's a mole calculation? Or it's a calculation like this. How many moles is 82.05 grams of calcium nitrate? Or it might be this. How many grams is 0.25 moles of calcium nitrate? And following this lesson, you're going to be able to complete this worksheet for homework. We determine the number of grams in any quantity given to you by moles, or you determine the number of moles in any quantity given to you by grams. So let's get started. To do each of these problems, we need to know the molar mass of calcium nitrate. We might have to multiply or divide by that molar mass. So to get started, let's figure out the molar mass of calcium nitrate. This should be review. The chemical formula of calcium nitrate is CaNO3 2, and those two different subscripts become multipliers. How many calcium atoms in this formula? 1. How many nitrogen atoms in this formula? 2. How many oxygen atoms in this formula? 2 times 3 is 6. Now each of these atoms, the individual masses can be found on the periodic table. And taking only one decimal place, I'm going to round. Calcium from the periodic table is 40.1 grams. Nitrogen is 14.0 grams. And oxygen, 16.0 grams. Multiplying those through, 40.1 grams of calcium, 28.0 grams of nitrogen, and 96.0 grams of oxygen. Adding them up, the grand total is 164.1 grams. That means there are 164 grams in 1 mole of calcium nitrate. This is great because we're going to use this. We're either going to multiply that number or we're going to divide that number, depending on what the problem asks us for. Let's do the first problem. How many moles is 82.05 grams of calcium nitrate? Well, that's this stuff. 82.05 grams are where we start. And now we're going to use this value right here as a conversion factor. It looks to me if 164 grams is 1 mole, then 82.05 is about a half a mole. Let's do the math to verify that. 82.05 grams times 164.1 grams on the bottom, 1 mole on the top. Look at that, I made a ratio. I made a fraction with 1 mole on the top and 164.1 grams on the bottom. Why? Because moles is what I'm looking for. And whatever quantity I'm looking for, I have on the top of any conversion ratio. What math is that? 82.05 over 164.1. That equals 1 over 2, or 0.5. So this is 0.5 moles. Let's verify that I ended up in moles. Grams on the bottom, grams on the top. That's just a fraction of 1. That cancels out those grams. The only unit left is moles. So how many moles is 82.05 grams of calcium nitrate? 0.5 moles. Simple as that. Problem number 2. Well, how many grams is 0.25 moles of calcium nitrate? Once again, That's calcium nitrate right there, and I already have the molar mass. So I'll start with what they gave me, 0.25 moles. Now I'm going to use this same ratio of 164 grams in 1 mole, and now I'm going to put the 164.1 grams on the top per 1 mole on the bottom. This is multiplying now by the molar mass. Multiplying by the molar mass. Why would I do that? Moles on the top, moles on the bottom. Those two units cancel, and my answer ends up in grams. And what's the problem asked for? Grams. So once again, when I put the ratio together, I put grams on the top because grams is what the question asked me for. What is this math going to be? 0.25 times 164.1. Which equals 41 grams. So that's how mole calculations go. Sometimes you multiply, and sometimes you divide. Sometimes you multiply, and sometimes you divide. So when you're going to moles to grams, it's multiply. And when you're going from grams to moles, it's divide. That's the lesson. Happy practicing, happy chemistry.